Husky fans, welcome into another edition of the NIU Spring Football Report. I'm Andy Garcia, joined by the MAC Coach of the Year, Thomas Hammock, as Husky football has gone through spring practice. We had a fantastic spring showcase this past Saturday. Had a lot of fun. The Easter egg hunt was fun as well, and got to see the team. If you came out, hope you enjoyed what you saw. Nice day, and Coach, great to have you on. And again, we've been able to talk to some of your assistant coaches. We've heard from some players. I'm glad to get you on this week because we kind of recap the spring. First, a couple things I want to get to before football. Joe Novak's birthday is this week. I know he's been big for you and what you've done with this program and brought it back and gotten the championship last year. You still get the chance to talk to Coach Joe a little bit?
Yeah, I talk to Coach all the time. Actually wished him happy birthday. And he said, getting old sucks, but it beats the alternative. So that's typical Coach Novak, if you know him. But he's certainly been a guy that's been a mentor to me. I reach out to quite frequently when I have questions. Sometimes I don't want to hear his answers, but I know it comes from a good place. And I know he has, the right frame of mind to help this program continue to grow.
So it's great to have a birthday with Joe Novak this week. And I want to talk about your social media and what you guys are doing with that, because, Coach, it's great. We've had great reports, not just here on YouTube and different NIU spring reports and the different features here, but it's part of what you've got to do in D1 football. Maybe not just D1, but all of football now. It's crucial to get out there, social media, but what you guys have done has been fantastic.
Yeah, we feel like we want to have the ability to touch the fans. We feel like we want to have the ability to touch recruits and sell our program. I think, we have a great product. We've been building this thing for the last 3+ years, and we feel like we got a team that's going to be very, very competitive, a team that we're excited about, and we want to try to find ways to get more fans in the stands because that makes a tremendous difference when you get in season. You've got a great home field advantage.
Part of that social media who I saw this week was part of the alumni team coming back, and saw a lot of alumni happened last week. If you saw the social media stuff, the fight song, different things, talk about that and why that's important to get some of the alumni.
Yeah, the engagement piece to guys that played here, got blood in the bricks, that's important. You want them to feel a part of the program. You want them to have mentorship. You want them to have a direct line to our players so they can help them transition to the next phase of their lives. And it was tremendous. I mean, you talk about guys saying, hey, I haven't been here in 15 years. I haven't been back in 20 years. But we're all connected, right? Anybody that's played in this program is connected through NIU football. And the passion, and then it was just a spontaneous fight song. I can't imagine most guys sing that very frequently, but you can hear the passion in their voice because when you sing the fight song, that means you've been through something. You've earned the right to be in that fraternity, and it was just great to have those guys back. I can't tell you how many guys said, what can we do to help the program? And that's what it's about, right? You want to continue to pay it forward and help guys that come behind you.
Yeah, it was great. And again, as you mentioned, and not just guys who just graduated, it's been guys who came back and been in a long time, different age groups, which is great to see. So let's talk about what we've gone through with spring football and what stood out for you. I know you saw things on both the offense and the defense and the special teams, but for you, Coach, what stood out for you in the spring?
Well, the thing that really stood out to me was the competitiveness of our football team. You saw on both sides of the ball, guys not giving an inch, wanted to win each day, wanted to have those bragging rights. And when you have a team that goes out there and they're trying to win the day, it becomes very, very easy to keep them motivated. And that's what I saw. I saw a level of maturity, a level of understanding, a level of commitment that has been greatly increased over the last 12 months. And you see guys with confidence. They have a little swagger about them. And I think that swagger goes a long way because they know they put the work in to be great. And anytime you put the work in to be as good as you can be, you can live with the results. And I'm excited about where we're at.
Coach, it's one thing to be the hunter, right? No one respects us. We didn't win anything a year ago. Now we're going to be the champs. But now you come into this season, 2022, and everyone is after you. What's your mentality as a football program? Do you have to change a lot, Coach? As you said, these guys, they tasted some victory. They tasted the championship. Do they want more?
It's a beautiful thing. I talk to our team all the time. We're chasing ourselves. We're not looking at anybody else's expectations because that doesn't matter. Our own expectations and what we think are the standards. We talked this spring about being a gold standard, and to be the gold standard, you have to be, something that everybody else desires to be. So we have to chase ourselves. And then we talk about keep it small. The only thing that matters is what we do today to get better, what we do tomorrow to get better. And if you continue to keep it small, come December or whenever the case may be, I think you will love to see where you're at.
Let's talk defense. All right, we'll start with some defense because it's been a talk of what you guys want to do. You want to improve on the defensive side, you want to get more turnovers. What did you see from the defensive side in the spring?
Well, first of all, I like what our staff, have done, building that bond in the staff room with Coach Benedetto coming onto the staff and working with the rest of the guys, and those guys went in there to get better. And what you saw was a defined scheme where, there's not much change. If there's a mistake or something happens, it's easily correctable because we're not trying to catch what the offense is doing. We have a defined scheme, and the scheme is built around our personnel. And what you saw this spring was guys have more confidence. They mature. They have better understanding of what they need to do within the scheme to do their job and be able to make plays. And then with the maturity of the players is second to none. And they are the ones that make it go. And I couldn't be more excited about the pieces that we have on defense as those guys continue to develop.
The defensive line, we've got names that we've heard from already. James Esther and Devontae O'Malley, Ray Thomas, Damon Taylor, just to name some of the few. But then you bring in Isaiah Green-May, who's got that experience from Wisconsin. It just seems like you're pushing even more for that D-line who's got experience already, and they seem like they're hungry to get more pressure on the quarterback this season and stop the run as well.
Yeah, in great programs, I think the D-line are the leaders because they push the offensive line, and it becomes a physical battle each and every day for the line of scrimmage. And the great thing about our program right now is we have young veterans. We have guys that have started multiple years that still, sophomores and juniors. So I couldn't be more excited about, where those guys are headed. And then we have depth. We missed the spring with Cade Haberman and Devontae O'Malley, two guys that we feel like can be extremely valuable for us as the season goes along. But then a young guy like Jelani Williams steps up. A young guy like Jaden Wilson steps up. So that increases our depth. I looked at the chart today. You're talking about, Jelani Williams had 350 snaps this spring. Those are valuable reps to say at some point during the season, he can be relied upon. And then you add Zay to the mix, a guy that has pass rushing ability. We know we got to get to the quarterback. Yeah. And the defensive end position is a position that needs to get there. And Zay and Ivan Davis and Michael Kennedy, those three guys are specialty type players that can get after the quarterback. And we couldn't be more excited about their development.
Now you talk about the depth. I mean, all the names you brought up there on the D line, linebackers, again, guys that have been around. And Kyle Pugh, who we had on last week, just great to have him on. Who knows how much he plays, right? And a 16-year veteran on this program now, 8 years. But you've got depth too, who guys, that come back. Jaden Dolphin, David Rayner, just to name a couple on the linebacker.
Yeah, we feel like, we got some guys at the linebacker position that could be fighting for all MAC position. I love what Kyle Pugh said about doing whatever it takes for the team. He's a leader. He's a guy we're going to rely upon. But at the same time, he understands the talent in the program. So whatever his role is, I'm sure he's going to embrace that. But he's a guy we want to keep healthy and get healthy and get to the season and let him go out the way Lance went out last year, playing his best football as a senior. And then you add Jaden Dolphin, who was the defensive MVP of the spring, a former walk-on, a guy that's developed his body, developed his skill set to be a playmaker all over the field. He's playing that Husky position for us, so he's got to be involved in the run game, then he's got to be involved in coverage. And then David is a guy that, for the first time in a long time, he's been fully healthy, going through the whole spring. He's a difference maker. I mean, he's a guy that can slip blocks and make make tackles for losses, and make explosive plays. And that pick that he dropped against Ball State a couple years ago, he's not dropping those anymore. So he's making those plays that can change the game. So we love where we're at. We feel like we got 7 guys at the linebacker position that we feel we can win with, and that's a lot more depth than we've ever had.
In the secondary, guys like Devon Bird, who got a lot of activity, a lot of game coverage last year. Devon Bird, and then you got Devin Lafayette, who again got hurt early, and hopefully we get to see him more this season because you got a little bit of youth, but you also, again, got experience in the secondary.
Yeah, I mean, our secondary will be a strong point for us this season. You got Javon Bird, you got Eric Rogers coming back, you got Jordan Gandy, 3 guys that all have started games for us over the last 2 years. Now, we got to build some depth behind them, which Cyrus McGarrell is a young man that came early, but it's really developed himself this spring, and the guy that we feel like we can go play with. And then at the safety position, our safety position may be the deepest position on our defense. With Devin Lafayette coming back, C.J. Brown, Jordan White, Muhammad Jameh, Louis Fry, Jordan Hanson, Jashawn Buffett, all guys that played in games and have experience at the collegiate level. And all those guys are back and they're competing, and they're going to make our special teams better. When you can line up on special teams with 6, 7, 8 guys from the defense, you got a chance to be really, really good on special teams as well.
So from the defense to the offense, and it starts with Rocky Lombardi, who was the spring offensive MVP. You go from winning the championship, back in December to now. What have you seen from Rocky Lombardi, not just on the field, but off the field?
Yeah, his growth as a quarterback has been unmatched. From the standpoint of going into the offseason, I wanted us to develop leadership. And so what I challenged the coaches is, I challenged our coaches to get our players to install the schemes to each other, just so you can get them talking, get them out of their comfort zone, get them in a position where they are forming leadership habits. And what Rocky has done with the wide receivers and getting them aligned, getting the checks, getting the signals, on their own time, is going to help our offense tremendously. And that extra piece of leadership goes a long way when adversity strikes, right? If you don't play well, you don't have a good quarter, you don't have a good half, don't start pointing the finger, point the thumb. And that's where the leadership of Rocky Lombardi, outside of his growth as a quarterback himself, he's going to be the orchestrator and the guy we're going to depend on heavily to be great on offense.
Yeah, so I'll go from quarterback to wide receivers, and we know the names: Trayvon Rudolph and Messiah Travis, Cole Tucker, Mohamed Toure. Again, names we know about, Coach, but I know you want to see them improve more production, more yards after catch. What have you wanted the wide receivers to improve on from last season?
Yeah, I think at the wide receiver position, the urgency, right? You got a quarterback back there, and everybody's trying to hit him. Your urgency running routes, your urgency with the catch and tuck, your urgency with making the defender miss, your urgency with running the right route. And, those guys have made strides. We still have a ways to go. We got a bunch of young guys coming in that we feel like can help us. But we really want to get the passing game as greased up as the running game, because if we can be equally adept at passing the football as we are running the football, we'll be a tough offense to stop.
I go from wide receiver to running back because we had a wide receiver go back to a running back this spring, maybe because of injuries, but also maybe you found something there, Coach, too, in Billy Dozier, who I saw him on Saturday take one from 90 yards out, break one tackle, make a juke like Thomas Hammock used to, and was gone to the end zone. Billy Dozier moving from wide receiver to running back. What did he show you this spring? Could we see him as a running back in the fall?
Well, I know Coach Nick McKissick-Luke, who you talked to last week, he is fighting like heck to keep him in his room. So, I'm always partial to the running back room. But he's certainly a young man that's had a phenomenal spring with his ability to make people miss and to stick his foot in the ground and go vertical is very uncanny. And so, he's a guy that's fighting for reps and a guy that, we feel like we can use in a variety of spots and create some mismatches for our offense against the defense where, people have to decide how they want to defend us. If you got 2 backs in the game, how are you going to defend Billy? Is it base personnel or nickel personnel? Obviously, if it's base, we can, spread them out and run some routes. If it's nickel, we can keep him in the backfield and run a running game package. So those type of chess pieces are always good for an offense because it creates advantages. And Billy is certainly a guy that we want to try to, continue to work with this summer to see what we can do with him.
More running backs, Harrison Whaley, who had the running backs had some injuries this spring. So Harrison Whaley got a lot of reps, and we saw his season end short last year. He was on a nice pace. Coach, I know you're high on Harrison Whaley. I know you've got a nice running backs room, but we saw what Harry could do last year, whereas he improved coming into 2023.
Yeah, he just has a much better understanding of the complete offense. I mean, he's making some cuts and he's making some moves. Like, he's setting people up. And once you play in the running back position and you start setting up the linebackers where you want them to go, so your offensive line can work their combination blocks up to them, that's the next level at the running back position. And if he can stay healthy, we feel like, the sky's the limit for Harry and his ability to be a dynamic piece to our offense.
What are one or two of the fullback names that we should know about going into 2022?
Yeah, I'm going to give you one name. It's Brock Lampe. This guy is a phenomenal football player. He's tough. He's dependable. He's very intelligent. He's an engineering major, and he's a guy that's gotten better and better with time. And he went out there and he took 400 reps on offense this spring. We count the reps because those are like game reps for us. And he's got the game experience now from the spring. Now he's going to go out there and execute during the fall.
I saved the best for last on the offense with the offensive line. It starts up front. We're going to see more Pete Nigra, who, again, had a great spring. You mentioned him, which we'll get into the spring awards too, but we're going to hear a lot about Nigra at the center. But what have you seen from the O-line so far?
Well, you're talking about a group that's, got a lot of experience, that's worked together. Anytime you got four starters back up front, that gives you a chance to be successful on offense. And then adding Pete Nigra to the group, what a nasty football player, old school, tough, physical, change the line of scrimmage. I have to keep reminding him, hey, Pete, we're practicing against our own team. Against Eastern Illinois, I look forward to that. You playing, but we got to try to keep our team safe, and just love what he brings to the table. When we recruited him, we knew that was an important piece for the future. We knew Patton would leave us at some point, and good for him. But we feel very excited about what Pete can do in the middle, along with four starters around him that can make us very dynamic up front.
Special teams. Let's start because no Matt Ferentz. So we got a new punter and a new long snapper. We have John Richardson. So let's start with that core of the special teams and the new names we'll see that.
Yeah, as far as the punter is concerned, Tom Foley is a young man that came to us from Minnesota. He's been working here ever since he got on campus. Learned from a great work ethic in Matt Ferentz, but he's got a tremendous leg, gets tremendous hang time. We just got to get him to be more consistent. Obviously, when you're playing in DeKalb, but there's wind, so you have to play with those factors involved. But a guy that we can rely on and trust. Then a long snapper, Isaac Hatfield, young man that's competing. We'll have another long snapper come in the summer, and those two guys will compete. And whoever wins the job, we feel like we'll be in good hands. And then having a guy like John Richardson, the confidence that he brings to be able to put points on the board gives us tremendous confidence that, if we get the ball anywhere to the 25-yard line or so, we got 3 points on the board for sure. So we can play the game and protect the ball and definitely make sure we come away with points.
For kickoff, punt returning, what will we see in 2022?
No, I think obviously kickoff return, we're going to work out some guys and see who gives us a chance. Obviously, Rudolph is the guy that we want to continue to expand his role on offense. So we want to, see if we can find some other guys to take up the slack as a returner. Punt return, we got to find a guy that can be dynamic. We got to find a guy that can, average 10, 12 yards per return on the season. I think that changes field position. And as you change field position, that increases your chances of scoring touchdowns. So we want to find a guy that we feel we can put back there and have complete confidence in. But if we don't, we know that, Cole Tucker is a guy that's done it the last couple of years, and not very many balls touch the ground, which is obviously the goal is to secure possession of the football.
So that's a little bit of the team. I want to move on because we talked a little bit about, we've seen walk-ons come onto this team and make big plays and be a big part of this program. And 3 walk-ons earned scholarships for 2022, 2023. I want to go through it. Tight end George Gums from Simeon High School. You talked about fullback Park Lampe from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Linebacker Ryan King from Wildwood, Missouri. They all earned it. It was a great little announcement that you did after practice with Ryan King. He got a huge applause. The team was really excited for Ryan King. But for 3 walk-ons that earned scholarships, one, a great honor for them. But, Coach, it just shows them, hey, you work hard in this program, you're going to get big things are going to happen to you. And they got the scholarships.
Team morale is big in college football, right? And the players know who's making plays. The players understand who are guys that we can depend on. And when a young man comes into the program as a walk-on, it's our job as coaches not to treat him differently, to give him every opportunity to earn snaps. And what we found out is this has been a great addition to our football team. Our team has gotten over the hump because of the walk-ons in our program. That's something I believe in. That's something I will continue to believe in. If you bet on yourself and you earn time in our program, it's my job to put you on scholarship. And, we're going to continue to do that because those guys got chips on their shoulders. They want to prove themselves. And we got a couple more guys that were very deserving as well. But obviously there are scholarship limits that we have to adhere to. So, but what I do is when I get a walk-on that I think can play, obviously we're going to take one less person in the next class. And we got a couple more guys we need to take care of as well.
That's pretty cool. I do want to mention, you mentioned Nick Benedetto, co-defensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach. So he's involved now and he's on the roster and the staff. Joseph Hawkins, new wide receivers coach. Tell us about Coach Hawkins.
Yeah, Coach Hawkins was a guy that, we went through an extensive process for the wide receiver position. When you start winning games, everybody wants to be a part of the program. So we had 2 positions come open. We interviewed about 20 people total. And really went through a thorough process because we want to make sure anybody we add to our staff, anybody we add to our team, anybody we add to our organization fits in our culture and not the other way around. And Coach Hawkins came in. He was very thorough, very detailed, very discipline oriented, a technician at the wide receiver position, and somebody that I feel gives us an edge to get our players to drastically improve, and he holds guys accountable, and all those things was important to me as I looked at our staff and what we needed to replace what left.
Do you want to go through some of the spring awards too? Because you mentioned some of them already, Coach. But Ryan King and defensive tackle Jelani Williams were named most improved players on defense, while Billy Dozier collected the honor for the Husky offense. Again, moving from wide receiver to running back, did a great job. Sophomore linebacker Jaden Dauphin named the spring defensive MVP. I just like Jaden Dauphin's game. He made some takeaways late in the season. You mentioned him a little bit, but Jelani Williams, Ryan King, Jaden Dauphin, again, names we're going to hear a lot on the defense.
Yeah, after each segment of playing football, I have my staff rank the top 30 players. And I think that's important because we got to constantly evaluate our roster, constantly evaluate our team, and be honest and have honest assessments. Jaden Dauphin finished near the top of our list on defense from the coaches. And he's a guy that has continually gotten better, continually improved, and a guy I expect to have a big season next year.
You also present the Hard Hat Awards to tailback Harrison Whaley, safety Devin Lafayette. Again, Whaley took nearly all the reps in the spring. Lafayette, man, really looking forward to having him back, to be back there. You mentioned him earning the Husky Heart Awards, redshirt freshman center Pete Nigra. You dubbed the future leader of that group, and that's interesting to hear about that. And also newcomer, as we mentioned, Isaiah Green May, a defensive end who came from NIU from Wisconsin. I did miss a practice. What did he break his hand? Isaiah did?
Yeah, no, he broke his hand early in practice and was fighting like heck to come. He only missed one practice. and they had to recast them every day. So I guess he had to grab a ball, and then they had to cast his hand as he's grabbing the ball. Just think how uncomfortable that must be to practice. Like, you're holding the ball, you can't move your fingers, you can't move your hand for 2 hours, and then you take it off and do something different. But he was just committed to getting better. He was committed to making plays. When we his first day in our program, he told the team, "I will be a guy that you never have to ask to work harder." And he's been exactly that. A tremendous guy, tremendous worker, and a guy that we feel like will make a lot of plays for us next season.
You mentioned about being fans in the stands, and it gives me an opportunity now. It's time to renew or purchase tickets for the 2022 NIU football season. Log into your My Huskies account or go to niuhuskies.com/tickets to purchase season tickets online anytime. By phone, call 815-753-PACK. That's 815-753-7225 during regular business hours. Season tickets offer the best value. See every game for as little as $15 per ticket with the Husky plan, which includes a minimum of 4 season tickets in section A or G for $88 each, or a great reserve season ticket in section C, D, or E. That's between the 35-yard lines for just $27 per game. Discounts are available. Coach, we want to see a lot of fans in the stands. It was a great turnout on this past Saturday for the spring showcase. When you win, positive things happen. And hopefully, we had good crowds last year, but hopefully we see even bigger crowds this year at Husky Stadium. It makes a difference. And Coach, this is a personal thing for me. You put this program right back where you want it, right? You're talking a couple of years, you could do this. You got the MAC championship. It's only going to get better. You're looking forward to 2022. I know you're excited about this year, and I'm hoping the fans are as well.
Yeah, first of all, what a tremendous value,
Yep.
To get season tickets and to see a team that's worthy to come see.
Yes.
I know, Andy, you thought it may take us a little bit longer to build our team. So we obviously moved it along pretty quickly. But I'm telling you right now, this team will compete and give it everything they got for 4 quarters. And that's what you want to see. You go to a game, you want to see a team compete. And we got quality opponents coming here. You got an SEC opponent coming. Yep. And just a tremendous schedule. And Toledo is homecoming. What a great opportunity. We know that's a big rivalry game for us. And a couple games to end the season at home. So we are excited, and our players are excited, and they want to put on a show for the fans. And that's why they play, to make people proud.
Also, not just fans, but donors are a huge part of this program, Thomas. And Husky Athletic Fund and season ticket members, check your mailboxes this week for the 2022 HAF membership guide with everything you need to know about renewing your season tickets at HAF memberships for this year, including football and basketball premium areas and parking, benefits, upcoming events, and more. You can also view the guide online at huskyathleticfund.com. That's huskyathleticfund.com. As always, we want to thank our fantastic donors. They do a great job every year.
No, I mean, their support, goes a long way for our program. And our players really appreciate it. And we've got some special donors that's doing some special things behind the scenes, helping us continue to develop. We are a developmental program, and every support matters. It doesn't have to be outrageous, but everything matters, and it helps our team in a lot of ways get better.
One other thing that I think is very cool, own a part of NIU athletics history and get your replica 2021 MAC championship rings and support the next generation of NIU student athletes. A majority of the sale of each replica ring will go to the 1899 Club, the new academic and training table area for NIU student athletes that will face Husky Stadium. Again, for more information on those replica rings, go to niuhuskies.com or call 815-753-9198. How are those rings? Are they good-looking rings, Coach? Did you have any part of that design?
They've done a great job. I just gave the yes, but we're certainly excited. Our players are excited to get their rings. I'm doing player eval meetings now, and everybody keeps asking, when are the rings coming in? And so I know they want that. Now social media is everything. They want to show off the bling. So I'm excited for when the rings come in and our players will be able to show those things off.
As we wrap things up, Coach, you mentioned a little bit, you got player interviews now, and you got a little bit, I don't say time off, but you got some time in between now before you get at it. What's involved with the player interviews, and what is the timeline now before we get to kickoff in September?
Yeah, I think, we got evaluation meetings. They have evaluation meetings with their position coaches first and talk about, this is where we see you. These are the things that you need to get better. And then, my meetings is just to get around them. I think the relationships with the players is what we live for as coaches, but also you got to re-recruit your team. I mean, these are our guys and we love them. We love them in our program. We love how they're developing. Just want to, give them a kind word before they go home for the break. But they'll get a little bit of time off. We start the summer program June 1st. So it'll be about a 7-week program. They get the 4th of July week off. And then we'll get back started with fall camp the first week of August. Obviously, you got 29 days to get 25 practices in before the first game. And then we enter the season. So I talked to our players about there are 4 phases to being great. Obviously, you got winter conditioning and lifting. Then you have spring ball. Then you have summer conditioning, which the season is around the corner. And then once you report for fall camp, there's 29 days to the first game. So what a great opportunity, but you have to embrace every phase in order to maximize the season.
Looking forward to it. And again, NIU Athletics right here on the YouTube page. We'll have more highlights, more stuff coming up throughout as we get ready for football. We got golf going on right now. We got tennis. Got a lot going on the NIU Huskies YouTube page right here. Subscribe here, Coach. It's great to catch up with you. I had a good time last past Saturday with the family. Great time with the Easter egg hunt. It really showed the family that NIU is, and that was a lot of fun on Saturday. Get some time off a little bit for you and the family because I know 2022 is going to be a lot of fun. We got some great opponents, not just on the road, but as you said, coming to Husky Stadium, and I'm looking forward to another season.
We can't wait. Go Huskies.
For Thomas Hammock, I'm Andy Garcia saying thank you for watching this NIU Spring Football Report. We'll talk to you soon. Go Huskies.